Alright guys, so this is the fourth video. For this video I will be going over how to run a binary logistic regression and a simple binary logistic. Um, so one thing to remember about the binary logistic models is that our dependent variable has to be dichotomous um, or a dummy variable. What that means is that it has to have only two values, okay? So for our theoretical model that we've been using, we'll use one of the suicide dummy variables, um, and then we'll run a multiple binary logistic using the concepts in our model. Okay, so first let's run a simple binary logistic. For this one, go to binary logistic. Our dependent variable, once again, it has to be binary, dichotomous, or dummy, only two. Let's say we want to see the impact that our other variables have on our suicide if dishonored variable. So we'll use that as our dependent. And then for our covariates, the characteristics, I would use age. It will put age in there. And then we'll press OK. And that'll show you, that'll give you these boxes, right? These tables. Once again, for the most part, a lot of this is information, extra information. Right? But what's important for us to understand is this box that says variables in the equation, right? So we want to see if our variable age was significant, and it wasn't, not in this case. Once again, we want to find for 0.05 or lower. So it's not significant, but let's say it was significant, right? We find it at a 0.04. What's the relationship? Well, the relationship would be a negative relationship with this specific variable of suicide. Once again, let's remember that this age group is between 25 and 54, and we are only looking at females, right? So for this variable, there would be no relationship, right, or not significant enough. And now that was a simple binary logistic. Let's run one more with a different variable. So now instead of suicide dishonored, let's go ahead and use if tired of living as our dependent. And we would run OK, go to our bottom box, and once again, we don't see that that age was really significant in impacting our dependent variable in this case. But let's say if it was significant, it would have a positive relationship. Okay, so these are just example of simple binary logistic, which is one dependent and one independent variable. Now let's run multiple linear regression. Okay, so we would go to the same box. We would go to analyze, to regression, and binary logistic tab. Press OK. For our dependent, let's go back to dishonor the family. And here we would add all the variables for every concept that we would have here, right? So we would add the demographic variables, the political views, and the cultural assimilation variables. Okay, so we would go back to this page. So we already have age. Now the race of the respondent, we'll add that there. If the respondent was married, their religion. We want to know their generational status. Okay, and then the last one would be the political views. All right, and here we would press OK, scroll to the bottom and see which variables are significant here. So what we find that being white was significant. We also find that having a different religion other than Protestant or Catholic was significant in determining the acceptability of suicide if a person had dishonored the family. And then we also find political views to be significant, right? So now for the relationship, right? So here we have a positive for race, and then we have a positive for other religions, and we have a positive relationship with political views. So once again, this just tells you that the higher up on the value on your independent variables, the higher up on those values, the higher up you go on your dependent variable values. Okay, so for example, political views, since we had liberals at the higher values, we would say the higher the political views, the more liberal an individual was, the more likely they were to be accepting this type of suicide. Okay, so these were just some examples of how to run binary logistic regression. As you can see, we only use one of our variables for suicide. In a bigger study, we could run a different binary logistic regression for each different variable on suicide. But that I'll leave up to you guys when you do your own research. So again, just to recap, we went over simple binary logistic, which is just one independent and one dependent variable. And then we went over multiple binary logistic. And for both of these regression models, it's important to remember that your dependent variable has to be binary. It has to be just two values. So it can either be a dichotomous variable or a dummy variable. But all right, that's it for this video. I'll go ahead and keep uploading videos as the semester keeps going on. But stay safe and good luck.